I'm Mark Woodard, the president of the Indianapolis Homeschool Wildcat Board of Directors. Welcome to the 2021-2022 Wildcats basketball season parent meeting. We compete against homeschool, public, private, parochial teams. We offer basketball for boys and girls from elementary to the varsity level. I'd like to introduce you to our boys varsity coach, Paul Settle. Paul's a third-year head coach with the Wildcats. He was part of the boys varsity coaching staff that won the national title in 2019. Paul graduated through the program himself and owns many of the personal records as a player. He demands commitment and spiritual assistance to the boys to grow into young men. Paul?
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to view this year's parent meeting. I wanted to take a few minutes to provide you with my coaching philosophy for the boys side, as well as provide you with some things to expect from a typical season. First, it all starts with culture. We want our boys, our coaches, our families, and our fans to come together under one understanding that unites us all, and that is doing things the Wildcat way. The Wildcat way states this, that we are the Lord's, not our own. Therefore, we play his way. We commit to sacrifice individual desires and goals to joyfully serve the Lord through team basketball, to communicate with boldness and kindness on and off the court, to vigilantly guard against division, distraction, and discouragement, to respect our God-given talents, authorities, teammates, and opponents, to play as one body with unmatched enthusiasm and energy, focused on spirited, suffocating defense and passionate, precise offense, to treasure every possession of every game, practice, and individual workout, to lead by using our influence to encourage character, diligence, and excellence in everything, to glorify God in victory and defeat, and to play in such a way as to win an imperishable prize. It's more than basketball. It's readying our young men to be husbands, fathers, and leaders. And what better way to do that than creating room for failure and growth in a safe environment like basketball? I'm going to push your young men to their physical and mental limits and help guide them to burst through those limits. I desire that they respect and love themselves enough to be demanding of themselves and have high expectations in everything that they do. Now, before each and every game, practice, and workout, we have a prayer, and we hone in on a few meaningful words and phrases before we break. These sentiments kind of reiterate many of the things found in the Wildcat way. We say, "What's in our heart?" And the boys say, "Conviction." We want our boys to proceed through life and in everything that they do with full confidence and purpose, with no second guessing, because they have done the preparation. What keeps us together? Trust. We want our boys to trust one another and operate as one. They have to have a common belief in Christ and his purpose for our club, and be able to look to the left and right and know that their teammate has a brotherly love for them. What's our focus? Details. It's not enough for our boys to go through the motions and simply do what they're told. They need to learn to focus in on the why and the specific small steps that have to take place in order for the compound effect to occur and allow something special to happen in them. How do we play? His way. Our boys must understand that there's a right way to play the game of basketball, and that the only way we can do so is Christ's way, filled with the fruits of the Spirit and with every ounce of effort that's within us. The goal is to let Christ go to work. Are we going to quit? We can't quit. No matter how dark it gets, no matter how many storms we weather, and no matter how the odds are heavily against us, we will never quit. We will fight and claw to the very end and know that we gave him everything. And then lastly, we end with "for him." The boys will know who we play for always. No matter if we win or lose, we lay it all at his feet and glorify him. Whether it's a national championship trophy, a runner-up ribbon, or nothing, he will be glorified. Now, what to expect with us in our play style? I won't go too far into detail on this. We play fast, we play intense, we play physical, and we share the ball. We like options offensively, and we will always dictate defensively. Training and practices. Late May, we begin summer workouts with the varsity and JV levels. We do this to prepare for our June leagues and shootouts. This past year, we did the Shelbyville League. We did an Indiana Westland shootout, a Purdue Fort Wayne shootout, and then a Hillsdale shootout. In addition to this, our strength and conditioning coach, Nathan Magnuson, who has done a fantastic job with the boys this summer, and the guys that have really dedicated the time to being in the weight room and whatnot with him. He's done a fantastic job. But he helps our players get going in our weight program. Now, this weight program is year round, but anyone new entering would ideally jump in May. From July through September, our JV and varsity have 4 practices throughout the week. Monday, we have a player-led practice. Tuesday, we do agility, speed, individual skill development, and conditioning. Thursday, we have more of a traditional team-oriented practice focused on defensive rotation, offensive movement, etc. And then Saturdays, we mirror our Tuesday workout. In addition to this, we have a 14U, 12U, and 10U combined workout on Saturdays that I run. We're also looking to add another workout during the week for these ages in the summer. The girls teams are also welcome to all of these workouts, and Scott, our varsity girls coach, and I have kind of worked together in that. So it's been an awesome experience. During the season, October through March, we practice 3 times a week unless we have games during those days that we have to practice. On those off days, I expect that players are lifting, conditioning, and working on their skills outside of practice, but most importantly, that they are getting their schoolwork done and even getting ahead. I do not want them having not having school done be the reason that they can't put work in. At the varsity level, we expect that our guys memorize these specific things. So like we talked about the conviction, the trust details, what we say before every and after everything, but also they memorize our Wildcat way. They memorize our fight song. And this summer, I have added in Man in the Arena, a speech by Theodore Roosevelt. So they have to do a lot of memorizing that really helps them focus in on what our culture is. And just to kind of quickly speak to our culture, our guys and our alumni are heavily involved in the lives. I'm an alumni myself, Nathan Magnuson as well. And just the unity that is there, the love, the brotherly love that is there, it lasts. I mean, my best friends in high school are my best friends now. I'm getting to see them get married. I'm getting to see them have kids. And it's just something that's really special that I don't think you get anywhere else. So just to speak a little bit about the culture. The game amounts, 18U, we have 40 plus games, 16U, we try to get them around 30 games, 14U around 25, and then 12U and 10U can sit between 15 and 20 games. It just kind of depends on the other home schools and what they have at their levels and the public schools as well. All of these games have a state and a regionals built in that we also make, and we also make a decision about who we take out to nationals. So they get a lot of good tournament experience at the end of the year. It's a real fun time. There's a lot of people that show up, so the kids are really going to have a good time with that. Scheduling highlights for us at the varsity level this year, we play Crispus Attucks, Culver Academy, Warren High School, Gary 21st Century, Tindley Tech. We're in a wedding tournament that traditionally has Bloomington South Cathedral and Zionsville, and we play some other public schools. So we're sitting around 16 to 17 overall public schools this year. Public school schedule usually sits at 20 games with the tournament at the end of the year. So we're getting really close to having a full public school schedule in addition to our homeschool schedule and all the tournaments that we have with that. And just some other thoughts to wrap up here. Yes, this is a pay to play, but you're going to have to earn your play time. Now, of course, as we get to the younger ages, we're going to work to develop all those players and give them experience on the court. But for sure, at the varsity level, we're not handing out playing time. You got to earn it. 2, we're one family. Let's encourage and lift our players up together for a high calling and form a partnership that focuses on doing what's best for our boys, even if it may be difficult. Team activities, team dinners, and activities outside of basketball are extremely important to help build chemistry and trust with our players. So please make it a priority that your athlete attends these and is part of the team. And then lastly, we are a volunteer organization. So if you see a gap or inefficiency, please do let us know, but we would love for you to step in and help fill that void. So I hope you're excited about this season and as excited as I am. My heart's in it. This is my ministry, and I'm going to partner with you to make sure that we help your son reach his academic, basketball, spiritual, and behavioral goals. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Paul. Now I'd like to introduce our girls varsity coach, Scott Roscoe. Scott is in his 2nd year as head coach for the varsity girls. He was also part of the boys varsity coaching staff that won that national title in 2019. Last season, Scott coached the girls to the most successful year they have had since the inception of the girls program. They had a 2nd year in a row state title and the girls' first varsity regional title within the club and an amazing finish at the national tournament. Scott has been coaching with the Wildcats for several years and pushes for excellence in growing the girls. Scott?
I also want to thank all of you for taking this time. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Scott Roscoe, the girls varsity head coach. This is my 19th year of coaching sports, my 6th year as a Wildcats coach, and my 2nd year as the girls varsity head coach. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our team from last year, go over my philosophies, and lay out some expectations for this year. Our girls varsity team last year had a very successful year, played the toughest schedule our girls varsity has ever played, and went 30-5 overall and 9-3 versus IHSAA teams. 2 of those losses decided by 2 or less points. Like Mark mentioned, we won state, we won regionals, and made it to the Final Four in nationals, losing to the eventual champions. But more importantly, last year, the girls formed lifelong relationships and learned that hard work does pay off. This team just worked hard and improved the whole year. And we'd like to take that into this next year and take it to the next level. So for my philosophies are simple. It's a 2-step process with me. First one is to glorify God in everything we do. And the second one is to compete at the highest level possible while keeping number 1. My goals with the girls are to install fundamentals, help them grow as individuals, to push them to a place that they didn't know they could reach, all while teaching them lifelong lessons, teaching them discipline, good work ethic, and how to work hard. My expectations are also simple. It's pretty much like Paul laid out, is just to follow the Wildcat way. It contains a lot of what makes kids good kids. I expect all the kids to work hard, to push themselves to reach the next level, and to be Christ-like in all of their actions. This includes with their teammates, their coaches, their parents, and everyone they come in contact with on and off the court. But one of the most important things is to have fun and respect themselves. I expect each and every girl to learn life lessons while they're playing and to grow spiritually. These are the most important aspects of my expectations. Paul went through a lot of the practicing in games, and ours kind of mirrors that, so I won't go through that all again. But I will say that this year the girls will play somewhere between 14 and 16 IHSAA teams at a very high level. We have a very difficult schedule, more so this year than we even did last year. So thanks for listening, and I'll turn it back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Scott, for that information. Now I'm going to turn it over to Pat Shook, who is going to go over kind of our practice game and facility guidelines. Remember, we are guests in these facilities, and so Pat will talk to that.
Hi, my name is Pat Shook, and I'm an assistant with the girls varsity. I help Scott with that team. We play many away games, and we also play many home games. And in order to help cover referee costs and court costs, we do take a gate fee at those home games. We play at potentially many facilities because we have 9 total teams in the Wildcats program, many facilities, and I need everyone checking their calendar regularly to watch for changes and updates to the schedule. These various facilities, I hate to say it, they have various rules that we do need to follow. We need to represent the Wildcats well in those facilities and follow those rules, whatever those rules are. We agree to play by those rules. Another item is sportsmanship. We do expect a high level of sportsmanship from the fans and the players. We treat the referees well. We treat the other coaches well. We treat the other players well. It's just a part of the culture of our club. I believe that's all I have to say. I'm going to turn things over to Andy, talk about some resources we have.
Yep, thanks, Pat. So the first thing I want to do is to introduce our website, and I will share a view of that. So if you go to homeschoolwildcats.com, you will find our website. So our homepage has quite a lot of information about our club. Notice the registration, which opens on September 1st this year. There is a form to contact us if you have questions or need more information. The aforementioned Wildcat Way is front and center on our homepage. It's something that guides and directs this club as a whole, not just the players, but it's also providing guidance to us as families and as a board. A little bit about what we expect our players to learn and to be a part of, some of our success, and a little bit about some of the schedules that you've already heard. There also is a parent information tab that will have relevant information for parents. If many of the questions that you might have will have information there. Another important feature of our website is the calendar. This is a sort of a master calendar for all club activities. There are individual team calendars as well. So you can see here for the first part of October, we already have some of the events that we have on schedule in the calendar. It has not been completely updated at this point, but will be soon. Each team has a page. So I'll take you to the Varsity Boys as an example. A team picture with a roster and a schedule. So here's the team schedule for this year, actually. So I can see some of the public school teams and some of the homeschool teams that we play. There are also upcoming events here on the team page that you can see. You can also sign up for alerts so that you get alerts, calendar alerts for those teams. The last thing I want to point out on our actually two things on our website. We have a blog page, information about homeschooling, the athletics. We have information about recruiting on the kids that have a desire to play basketball at the next level. So good information there. We also have a merchandise page. This is where you can acquire Wildcat gear, spirit wear. We also do a pre-season spirit wear sale that will be at the beginning of October, I think. You can see some of the different items that we have here to wear the proud Wildcat colors. I think the last thing then maybe is the multimedia page. We have pictures from archives from previous seasons and specific games, all kinds of valuable information to be taken from our website. With that, I will throw it back to Pat to talk about the fact that we are a parent-driven club. Pat?
Hey, thanks, Andy. Hey, we are a parent-driven volunteer club. Everybody works really hard, and when you're registering your players, there'll be an opportunity to sign up for different activities, be it scorebook keeping or scoreboard keeping. There are many jobs, filming games. There are many jobs, many opportunities where you can help. And we need the help. We appreciate everything everyone does. And now I think, am I turning things back over to Andy?
Yes, indeed. So I would like, as the treasurer of the club, I get the distinct privilege of being able to talk about the player fees, registration fees. So we have set fees this year for each of the different levels. Want to explain a little bit about how these fees work. So you'll notice that the varsity boys and the varsity girls fees are substantially more expensive than the others. The primary reason for that is there's an additional amount added to cover team costs to go out to nationals. So we, as a club, try and cover the coaches, part of the coaches' travel expenses out there. And to do that, we add a $200 fee into our registration amount to help cover that fee for the expenses for the coaches. The other thing that you might notice for those returning families, the fees did go up this year. What we've decided to do, we actually did not raise the fees, but we added a uniform replacement, sort of a usage fee. So uniforms are always a bit of a struggle to try and replace. And so what we've decided to do is to add a little bit into the registration fees. And over a 4-year period, each team will have generated enough money to have their uniforms, both home and away, replaced. So that's a 4-year cycle to get new uniforms. And that's what that additional fee is. So the payment schedule looks like this. You pay the first $100 when you register, typically by the end of September. By the end of October, the second installment would be due, depending on the team that you play for. It depends on the amount that you would have to pay for that second installment. All team fees then would have zero balances by the middle of December. We have a variety of different ways that we can accept payment. You can pay when you receive the invoice with a credit card. You can write a check and mail it to me, or we have Venmo. That also is a new option for this year. So after registration is complete, you will receive an invoice, and then that invoice will give you the link to be able to pay with a credit card, or give you the address or the other payment options. So as always, any questions on that, feel free to email me at acwertz@gmail.com, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Now we'll talk about sponsorships, and that goes to Mark.
Thank you, Andy. You heard a lot of information there with all the coaching information, the schedule information, and now to kind of close it up with the fees. And so what I like to do is tell you that I've been a part of this club for probably 7 or 8 years. I have multiple kids in the program, and it can add up when you add up the fees with 2 or 3 kids playing in this club. And so what I've done over the years is I participated in this sponsorship program that the club has offered. And I remember coming into the club the first year, and someone got up and spoke about how to minimize your fees out of your pocket. And that's what I did, and I've done it ever since. And so what we offer is a sponsorship program. And through this sponsorship program, businesses can sponsor through our program. It's kind of an annual program. There's a little bit of a shot, and I don't think this will come through real well, but it is a program that we put out annually. It has all the kids and the rosters and photos, and kind of gives you a good flavor of the culture, but it also has some scheduling in there, who we play in our conference, maybe some past records. So it's a really cool program. And what we offer as a club is for you as a parent to go out and to take this program and to sell ad space. And so you can sell a little small business card size ad, or you can sell a whole back page. And the sponsorship money that comes in from a business then also goes to help out a percentage of your registration fees for your kids. And so with that, that can add up really quick because the sponsor levels this year are $100, $500, $1,000, $25, or $5,000. And so with that, if you go out and raise $2,500, then half of that can go toward your own child's registration. And so it's an easy way to quickly minimize your out of pocket. It also benefits the club because if everyone would go out and sponsor away their own personal fees, then it also doubles the club's intake as well. Now, how does this work? You take a sponsor, you take a program, you go into a potential business, you tell them about the club, you show them last year's program. Here's who I go to. I go to places I fraternize. I go to my dentist, my mechanic, my favorite restaurants. You can go to grocery stores, your plumber, your electrician. Usually if it's a local business, smaller business, you can get to a decision maker, then they usually will pull the trigger and help you out to support the club. And then they also get ad space within this program. And so it's a great way to try to minimize fees. It really does work. I mean, to be honest, I haven't had to pay a dime for my kids probably in the last 5 years because I've gotten aggressive with this and gone out, and people like it. They want to help out once they know about the program. And a local homeschool Christian basketball organization, many businesses are willing to help. So that's just one way you can try to minimize your own fees. Now, a few other things on the side that help the club too is you can sign up through Kroger. If you sign up through the Wildcats through Kroger, every time you use your Kroger card, money will go to the club to try to minimize costs. Also, Amazon Smile. We also have a connection there to where it's a Wildcat Amazon Smile. If you sign up through that, then certain purchases will go back to the club. And so many ways that you can try to help out, and specifically for the game program sponsorship, that definitely helps you out personally. And ads are due on that by October 10th. Get with, it'd be Shelly Dove or Andy Wirtz. If you do an ad copy, it has to be in a JPEG. And also the forms for what you take into a business are on the website. Like I said, with these different levels of sponsorship and what the business gets with the sponsorship. And so all that will be available on the website. And so in closing, I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you have any other questions about the club, please feel free to call me direct. My name is Mark. I'm the president. My number is 317-517-1172. And if you simply want to come out and cheer the Wildcats on, check out our website, schedule some family nights out. We'd love to have you. And thank you. And I pray that God blesses you and your family.